The New York Knicks are preparing to make a tsunami-type offer to acquire Giannis from the Bucks, and Giannis just recently said on his brother's show, quote, "I love playing in New York. I think it just brings out the best of me." Extremely interesting, as already Giannis has made it very clear that for the first time in his career, he is not only open to a trade, but seriously exploring his options. He is now openly saying things that are usually just pure speculation. In the past, we've speculated that Giannis might want to demand a trade because the Bucks are no longer a contender. But then after the Bucks lost in the first round of the playoffs for the third season in a row, Giannis also said on his brother's show, "Me not having a second championship, I look back at my career and everybody can say, oh, incredible career, active Hall of Famer, first ballot, whatever. But me, my personal goal, if I am not able to help my team win a second ring, I'm letting down myself." Notice he said my team and not the Bucks. But here's the real question. Is Giannis really a future New York Knick, or are we about to watch NBA chaos unfold as teams do their best to outbid each other to win Giannis? Because what's up, Mike here, and the Bucks are technically not in a position where they need to trade Giannis, even if he does demand a trade, as he is signed until the 2027 season with a 2028 player option. But if Giannis does request a trade, the Bucks are going to honor that request, which only means we're in for more chaos. Because Chris Davis reports that after internal discussions, the Bucks plan to trade Giannis Antetokounmpo on their terms, eyeing a rebuild centered on picks and prospects. Giannis has the Raptors, Knicks, Heat, and Spurs on his wish list, but is signaling he won't extend elsewhere, targeting 2027 free agency. Milwaukee prefers a Western Conference deal and has strong interest in top prospect Dylan Harper. Wow, we just gained a lot of information in a short time with that one. The Bucks are going to want to fully rebuild, which means they are going to be looking for young players and picks. Then on Giannis' side, he said he's not going to extend anywhere other than the 4 teams on his wish list. So if a different team did make a trade offer, it is possible that that team would be able to convince Giannis to sign long term, but they would also be taking a huge risk as they could trade away their future core for nothing. But already with 4 teams in the mix in the Raptors, Knicks, Heat, and Spurs, we have enough to watch an actual bidding war take place. Before we get into those trades and what they would look like though, let's quickly talk about just how much of an impact Giannis is going to bring to whatever team he goes to. We all know Giannis is all world, but this is a man who is openly saying he needs to win another championship or he's going to regret it for the rest of his life. That is some serious motivation for Giannis, but it also makes perfect sense as Giannis has been playing at historic levels but has become somewhat underrated as the Bucks have had extreme low levels of success. And I emphasize underrated because really it is the fact that Milwaukee has not been in championship contention that has cost Giannis the top tier prestige he once had. As let's remember, after we all watched Giannis hold up the Larry O'B to end the 2021 season, one massive storyline emerged and it was a real one. Before that storyline, I just want to say, if you are enjoying this video, if you are enjoying the content, it would be awesome if you could subscribe and turn on post notifications. Again, only if you are enjoying the video. Continuing on, that storyline was, is Giannis the best power forward of all time over Tim Duncan? Now, at this point in time, we are not having that conversation at all. Duncan was a 2-time MVP and a 5-time champion. He was also a 10-time first-team All-NBA selection with the Spurs. He was the definition of a leader and the definition of team greatness. But in 2021, we weren't just wondering if Giannis was better than Tim Duncan, we were wondering if he was going to end with a better resume, because Giannis had just won the MVP in 2019. He won the MVP again in 2020, and he also won the Defensive Player of the Year award in 2020, becoming one of just 3 players in history to win both of those awards in the same year, with 1988 Michael Jordan and 1994 Hakeem Olajuwon. Then after winning his first title in 2021, Giannis was just 26 years old, the same age currently as both Shea and Luka. At the end of the day though, it was Tim Duncan's rings that made him the best power forward of all time. And while Giannis might not end his career with 5 championships, his impact on whatever team he goes to in the next few seasons is going to be ridiculous. Not only will he be extremely motivated, but Giannis was just named first team All-NBA for the 7th season in a row. In the regular season this year, he averaged 30.4 points, 11.9 rebounds, and 6.5 assists per game. And then in the playoffs, he did what he could. He averaged 33 points, 15.4 rebounds, and 6.6 assists per game on over 60% shooting. But if Giannis is even going to win his second championship, we know that the Bucks are not going to cut it at this point, with Dame tearing his Achilles at the age of 34 and Kyle Kuzma playing a brand of basketball that can only be described as, did this man have access to a practice gym in Washington? So looking at Giannis's list and looking at the New York Knicks, this trade might be much more of a possibility than you think. Scoop Robinson has said he has sources close to Giannis that have told him that Giannis is looking for three things. 1, staying in the Eastern Conference to keep his travel and media profile intact. 2, being in a position of control with a voice in roster building and coaching direction. And 3, a market where other stars would want to join him. A place that isn't just a destination for him, but could become a destination because of him. The New York Knicks, of course, are the definition of a destination city when they are playing great basketball. With Giannis, that of course would be the case. The real question here is who else would be involved in this trade? Because if the Bucks do want young pieces back, we know that the Knicks roster does not fit that, but we also know that 3 and 4 team deals are a very real thing. So if New York wants to go all in with a tsunami type offer and ship off Cat and Mikal Bridges or OG Anunoby, probably 2 of those 3, we'd have to imagine that with whatever New York has left and with Jason Tatum tearing his Achilles, the Knicks would be very real contenders right away to make the NBA Finals. From there, they would have a chance to secure their first championship since 1973, and winning a championship in New York City would give Giannis the most legacy points he could possibly gain out of any team. That is actually true, I would say, of every player in the NBA right now. This does make me question the Raptors a bit, as they are not as big of a market, but the Raptors also have the number 9 pick in this year's draft, which means they can really make an awesome offer here. The Bucks could load up on picks while also receiving players such as Grady Dick and RJ Barrett, while the Raptors could still keep a budding contender going with Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram, and Giannis. Now, me personally, I'm not seeing this as the best option for Giannis. I don't know if this team has what it takes to win a championship with a big 3 of Giannis, Barnes, and Ingram, but if they make the best offer, this very well could happen, and the Raptors would still have time to fine-tune their roster and build it into a real championship contender. They are at the very least much more likely, in my opinion, than the Miami Heat, because even if the Heat are technically on Giannis's list, I don't think they have the trade assets to make a trade for Giannis, and I also don't think that they have the roster to win a championship with Giannis. I think if Giannis does end up waiting for free agency, Miami has a better chance of landing him in the 2027 offseason. So really, the final team here that is being mentioned is the San Antonio Spurs. And as we heard before, the Bucks don't want to trade Giannis to an Eastern Conference team, even if Giannis himself wants to stay in the East. We also heard the Bucks like Dylan Harper. The Spurs have the number 2 pick. They can get the Bucks Dylan Harper. San Antonio also doesn't need another guard such as Dylan Harper on their roster. They already have De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, and Devin Vassell, which means the Spurs could get bold and try to keep the Rookie of the Year in Stephon Castle and offer up a very enticing trade package of Dylan Harper, Devin Vassell, and then a ton of picks, including some very valuable ones, as the Spurs have a pick swap with the Hawks in 2026 and an unprotected 2027 Hawks first round pick. If San Antonio were able to get this done, Castle, Fox, Wemby, and Giannis is already insane, and Castle and Wemby's rookie deal would allow San Antonio to take on another larger salary if they wanted to aim for that and build just an absolute juggernaut if the right player is available. That is absolute chaos. But I want to know, what do you think down below? Where do you think Giannis is going? And there we have it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you are new to the channel and you enjoyed this video, it would be awesome if you could subscribe and turn on post notifications. Only if you enjoyed the video though. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting. You are awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day and cue that music.